Family comes first, Emma. Your brother needs this more than you do. My mother's words felt like ice in my veins as I stood in our kitchen clutching my nearly empty bank statement. The college fund I'd built since I was 14. Gone. All $48,000 of it transferred to my brother Kevin's account 3 days ago. My name is Emma Chen. And at 22 I was watching my dreams of medical school evaporate because my golden child brother had gotten himself into trouble again. The worst part. My parents had authorized the transfer without even telling me. He could go to jail, Emma, my father added, not meeting my eyes. The people he owes money to, they're dangerous. We had to do something. I laughed bitterly. Dangerous? You mean his gambling debts? The ones he racked up while supposedly studying at Yale. I pulled up the bank app on my phone, showing them the transfer details. 8 years of savings. Every birthday check, every summer job, every scholarship stipend, gone in one transaction. My mother reached for my hand, but I pulled away. Kevin made a mistake, but he's family. He promised to pay it back once he gets back on his feet. Just like he promised to pay back the car they bought him last year, or the rent for his luxury apartment, or the business loan for his failed startup. Kevin was 25, hadn't finished college, and had never held a job for more than 3 months. But in my parents' eyes, he could do no wrong. I start medical school in 4 months. I said, my voice shaking. That money was my living expenses. My books, my. You can take out loans, my father interrupted. You're good with money. Kevin isn't built for that kind of stress. Not built for stress. The words echoed in my head as I remembered all the nights I'd worked double shifts at the campus coffee shop while maintaining my 4.0 GPA. All the weekends I'd spent tutoring instead of partying. All because I was good with money and responsible. My phone buzzed, a text from Kevin. Thanks for the help, sis. Promise I'll make it up to you. Dinner's on me when I'm back in town. I showed the text to my parents. Did you tell him you took my money, or did you let him think I offered? Their silence was answer enough. That evening, I drove to the local branch of Pioneer Bank, determined to at least close my account. I couldn't trust my parents not to pull this again. Couldn't risk them accessing any future savings. Mrs. Martinez, the bank manager who'd known me since I opened my first account, took one look at my face and ushered me into her office. Emma, honey, are you okay? I tried to call you when I saw the transfer, but it was already processed. I blinked back, tears. You tried to call me, she nodded, pulling up something on her computer. There were irregularities in the transaction, things that didn't add up. She turned the screen toward me. Your parents had joint access because you opened the account as a minor, but look at this. The document she showed me made my blood run cold. It wasn't just my college fund they'd transferred. There were smaller transfers too, going back months. 20 here, 50 there, always under the reporting threshold. That's not all, Mrs. Martinez said quietly. The account they transferred your money to. It's not your brother's. It's registered to a private LLC in the Cayman Islands. My hands started shaking. What are you saying? She leaned forward, her voice dropping to a whisper. Emma, I've been doing this job for 20 years. I know money laundering when I see it. Your brother's gambling debts might be real, but that's not where your money went. I felt the room spin slightly. Then where? I think Mrs. Martinez said, sliding a business card across her desk. You need to talk to my friend at the FBI's Financial Crimes Unit. Something much bigger is going on here, and you might be the key to uncovering it all. I stared at the card, my mind racing. My perfect family, my successful father, my devoted mother, what were they really involved in? And how many other family emergencies had been covers for something darker? What should I do? I asked, my voice barely audible. Mrs. Martinez's expression was grim. Go home. Act normal. Don't let them know you know anything. I'm going to help you set up a new account at a different bank, one they can't access. And then, she tapped the FBI agent's card. You're going to make a very important phone call. As I drove home that night, my father called. Emma, honey, we're having a family dinner tomorrow. Kevin's coming home. He wants to thank you properly for your help. I swallowed hard, thinking of the FBI card in my purse. Of course, Dad. Wouldn't miss it for anything. The next evening, I sat at our family's dining room table, watching my mother fuss over Kevin like he was still a child. He'd arrived an hour late, sporting a new designer watch and that familiar charming smile that had gotten him out of trouble his entire life. Emma, he embraced me with theatrical enthusiasm. My favorite sister. You're literally a lifesaver, you know that. I forced a smile, thinking about Mrs. Martinez's revelations. Right? The gambling debts. Something flickered in his eyes. Confusion, before he quickly recovered. Yeah, exactly. Dark times, but I'm turning things around now. Actually, I've got some exciting business opportunities lined up. Of course he did. Kevin always had opportunities that somehow required other people's money. Mom brought out her special occasion lasagna, the one reserved for Kevin's sporadic visits home. Isn't this nice? She beamed. All of us together again. I pushed the food around my plate, my appetite gone. Earlier that day I'd met with Agent Sarah Cooper from the FBI. Her reaction to the bank documents had confirmed my worst fears. These transactions, she'd said, pointing to the pattern Mrs. Martinez had noticed, they're textbook money laundering. Someone's been using your account as a pass-through, probably because your clean banking history wouldn't raise flags. I watched my father now, typing something on his phone while pretending to listen to Kevin's latest schemes. How long had he been using my account? What exactly was he involved in? Emma's been quiet tonight, Kevin observed, breaking into my thoughts. Still upset about the money. Come on, sis, don't be like that. Family helps family, right? My mother jumped in before I could respond. Speaking of help, Kevin, your father and I were thinking. Emma's always been so good with finances. Maybe she could help you manage your new business ventures. I nearly choked on my water. They wanted me involved in whatever they were doing. Actually, I said carefully. I should focus on medical school, my loans. I let the sentence hang. About that, my father interjected, finally putting down his phone. I've been talking to some investors. They might be willing to help with your tuition, in exchange for some consulting work. Investors. The word sent chills down my spine. Agent Cooper had warned me they might try something like this. The deeper you get into their operation, she'd explained, the harder it becomes to get out. They'll try to compromise you, make you complicit. I don't know, Dad, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. I should probably just stick with federal loans. Kevin laughed, always playing it safe, Em. That's your problem. You never take risks. If they only knew about the recording device in my purse, currently capturing every word of this conversation. My father leaned forward, his voice dropping. Emma, these are serious people. Very successful. They could open doors for you that most students can only dream of. Like they opened doors for Kevin. The words slipped out before I could stop them. The temperature in the room seemed to drop. Kevin's smile disappeared. My mother's fork clattered against her plate. That's not fair. Mom started, but my father cut her off. Your brother's situation is complex, but he's handling it. And these people I mentioned, they're different, professional. They understand the value of discretion. I stood up abruptly. I need some air. In the backyard, I pulled out my phone and sent a quick text to Agent Cooper. They're trying to pull me in. What should I do? Her response came seconds later. Keep playing along. We're close to connecting all the dots. Through the kitchen window, I could see my family in what appeared to be an intense discussion. Kevin gesturing animatedly. My father shaking his head. My mother wringing her hands. My phone buzzed again. Mrs. Martinez this time. More transfers came through today. Bigger ones. Whatever they're planning, it's escalating. I took a deep breath of the cool night air, thinking about how quickly my world had unraveled. Just a week ago, my biggest concern was finding a roommate for medical school. Now I was caught in the middle of what Agent Cooper called a significant financial crimes investigation. Kevin appeared beside me, making me jump. Hey, about what Dad said. Those investors, they're really interested in you, Em. Your clean record, your academic background. It's valuable. Valuable for what exactly? I asked, studying his face. He shrugged, but his eyes were serious. Let's just say there are ways to make money that don't involve working 60-hour weeks at a hospital. Ways that could make your student loans disappear overnight. I thought about my empty college fund, about the years of deception, about whatever business had required them to launder money through my account. I'll think about it, I said. Kevin grinned and hugged me. That's my sister. Trust me, you won't regret this. As I watched him walk back inside, Agent Cooper's words echoed in my mind. Remember, the deeper you go, the more evidence we can gather. But also, the more dangerous it becomes. The next morning, over breakfast, my father laid out their proposal. His voice was casual, as if he were discussing weekend plans, rather than what I now knew to be a criminal enterprise. It's simple, really, he explained, sliding a folder across the table. We just need you to process some transactions through your new medical practice once you're licensed. Small amounts, nothing suspicious. Inside the folder were documents for what appeared to be a shell corporation, already registered in my name. My hands trembled as I realized they'd been planning this for months, perhaps years. My medical career was never meant to be just about helping people. It was meant to provide cover for whatever they were really doing. What about my college fund? I asked, keeping my voice steady. Was that a test, to see if I'd stay quiet? Kevin laughed from his spot by the coffee maker. Come on, Em. You passed with flying colors. Most people would have raised hell. But you understood it was for family. No, I thought. I understood I was being recorded by the FBI. My mother touched my hand. Sweetheart, we always knew you were special, different from other kids. You understand responsibility. Discretion. The perfect front, I muttered. What was that? My father asked sharply. Nothing. I forced a smile. Just, it's a lot to take in. The recording device in my purse captured everything. Their detailed explanation of how they'd use my future medical practice to clean money. The connections they'd already established. The promises of wealth beyond my imagination. Every word dug them deeper into a hole they didn't even know they were standing in. My phone buzzed. Agent Cooper, we have enough. Signal when you're ready. I looked at my family. Really looked at them. My father, respected businessman by day, orchestrating this elaborate scheme. My mother, whose perfect housewife routine masked a calculating mind. And Kevin, who'd probably never gambled a day in his life, playing his role of the screw-up son, to distract from the real operation. What if I say no? I asked suddenly. The kitchen went silent. Kevin's coffee cup froze halfway to his lips. No isn't an option, sweetheart, my father said softly. You're already involved, have been since we started using your account. If we go down, he let the threat hang. My mother's face hardened. We're trying to give you a better life, Emma. Why can't you see that? A better life. I stood up, anger finally breaking through. You stole my college fund, used my account without my knowledge, and now you're threatening me. Sit down, my father commanded. But I was done taking orders. I trusted you, I continued. All those years working part-time jobs, saving every penny, thinking you were proud of me for being responsible. But you were just waiting, weren't you? Waiting until you could use me. Kevin moved to block the doorway. You're being dramatic, Em. This is business. Family business. I pulled out my phone, watching their faces. No, this is fraud, money laundering, and probably a dozen other crimes I don't even know about. My father stood slowly. Think very carefully about your next move, Emma. I pressed send on the pre-written text to Agent Cooper. I already have, I said, just as the front door burst open. The next few minutes were chaos. FBI agents swarmed the house. My father tried to delete something on his phone but was too late. Kevin made a break for the back door but found more agents waiting. My mother just sat there, surprisingly calm, as if she'd always known this day would come. As Agent Cooper led my father away in handcuffs, he looked back at me. Why? He asked, and for the first time, I heard real emotion in his voice. We're your family. Family doesn't exploit each other, I replied. You taught me that, just not the way you intended. In the aftermath, Mrs. Martinez helped me set up new accounts under protected status. The FBI recovered most of my college fund, though it took months of forensic accounting to untangle all the transfers. Medical school started in the fall, funded by legitimate loans, and what remained of my savings. Sometimes I wonder if my classmates can see it on my face, the weight of sending your entire family to federal prison. But then I remember the alternative, the life they had planned for me, and I know I made the right choice. Kevin got 5 years for his role in the scheme. My parents got longer sentences, given their leadership roles. My mother still writes sometimes, saying she forgives me, as if I'm the one who needs forgiveness. Last week, I received a letter from my father. Inside was a news clipping about my white coat ceremony, which the prison had allowed him to keep. On it he'd written 3 words: "You were stronger." Maybe he finally understood. Being strong isn't about staying quiet or putting family first. It's about doing what's right, even when it breaks your heart. I keep that clipping in my desk drawer at medical school, not as a reminder of what I lost, but of what I gained: the truth about my family, and more importantly, the truth about myself. Sometimes the hardest choices are the ones that set us free.